So we planted Arise Church Puerto Rico January of 2020. We planted in Dorado, Puerto Rico. The beauty of Dorado was, we're actually, neither of us are from there. Yeah. So you're from where?
Ponce, I'm from Ponce.
I'm from Trujillo, Cupey, that area, and metro area. But I wasn't raised in Puerto Rico. And you were in Puerto Rico?
I was raised until I was 14 years old. And we moved to the States, my parents, and to me, Puerto Rico, I was done with Puerto Rico. I said, I will never go back to Puerto Rico, so yeah.
But we felt called to Dorado, and we just loved the environment, the area, and we knew that God wanted to put a life-giving church in Dorado. So part of, even launching with ARC came through, actually, first of all, losing a job in ministry. Then we were like, where do we go from here? So we took up everything we owned and moved to Birmingham, Alabama. And then we just started serving within Highlands and loving what God was doing, and then made a decision to go into Highlands College. Once we finished Highlands College up, it's like, okay, God, what do you want to do next?
I remember telling you, I wonder if there's any life-giving church or ARC church in Puerto Rico. And then we just started searching, and we searched, and there was none.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just didn't say anything else. I just kept it right there.
And that kind of started, some prayer, and also for me, some logistical stuff. So I started looking at cost of living in Puerto Rico, what's going on. Found out, the median household income in Puerto Rico is $19,000. The poverty level in Puerto Rico, our state, would be the highest in the nation. There's more people in Puerto Rico than there is in 20 other states, and yet Puerto Rico doesn't have a life-giving church that we could find. So that kind of started stirring our hearts. This is going to be harder than working for somebody else. But if there's anybody who's doing it, it's going to be us.
We actually moved in June 2019, and that's when actually we experienced the first earthquake on the same month that we moved. And then in January 2020, we actually experienced the biggest earthquake. And I was like, God, why now? It was earthquake after earthquake. Working at the church, getting ready, and then 3 days before launching, there was a shooting in front of the church.
It was hard times, It was like, God, is this what you called us to? This is extremely difficult.
But then that it is God's calling, because He didn't say it was going to be easy, but He said He was going to be with you in every step of the way. So, and we have seen how God works, and how He has opened every single door. When we said yes, here we are. And we have seen any miracles after miracles.
Yeah, and after all the challenges, earthquakes, shootouts, there was also a political uprising that happened the same summer as we were trying to do launch meetings. But 3 days after the shootout, bullets going through our window, we launched Arise Church, and 264 people walked through the front doors. 27 people gave their lives to Jesus on our first day. Launch day was amazing. It was great. We had so much fun. But it was 2020. So 6 weeks after we launched, after going through everything we went through, we finally launched. We're finally thinking we're moving, and all of a sudden, here comes COVID. And we didn't have anything online. We weren't doing video. We weren't doing any of that. We always said, oh, we'll do that in the future. But within 1 week, we had to go online, and we also had to do it twice. We're a bilingual church, so we have an English service and a Spanish service now. When we started, we were doing translation. You can't translate on social media. You can't translate video, not effectively, I don't think. So we had to go to doing 2 videos, but it just became, so key. And we got through. We got on the other side of COVID, and then we started meeting again, and people started coming in, and then we started seeing how God, just through our faithfulness of not giving up in that season, how God started transforming lives. Like we have, so many stories of people who have taken next steps.
Yeah, we have a beautiful couple. I mean, they are amazing. They were having actually marriage issues, and they called us like, I don't think we can survive this. They got divorced, and we tried to help them through everything that we're going through, and they actually got married again. And they actually celebrated the 2 years anniversary again this last week. So yes, that's a miracle.
And I think this is a testimony just as pastors to stand by people not giving up on them. You know, we have someone on our worship team who had been worshiping since the very beginning, but their husband didn't come to church.
I remember her telling me, like, I'm praying for my husband so he can come to church, but he doesn't want to come to church. He actually joined one of our marriage small group, and we started having a relationship with him, and then he came to church for the first time. He actually gave his life to Jesus, and we actually baptized him.
We just baptized him just a couple months ago. It was amazing. And once again, somebody who didn't want anything to do with church, but has become just such a strong leader within our church. So the vision of Arise Church is we want people to arise and shine. We say, levántate y resplandece. It comes from Isaiah chapter 60, where it says, you shall arise and shine. And that's what we want people to do. We want people to arise from, Puerto Rico's been hit by so many things. But Isaiah chapter 60 tells people to arise and shine. We need to arise from darkness. So we've gone through physical darkness, but there's also spiritual darkness. So we want people to know God. We want people to find freedom. We call that arise. And we want people to shine. We want them to know who they are. We're believing that Arise Church is going to be a catalyst of churches in the Latino community. So any Latino pastor who's out there, you got this. You can do this. And whatever we can do to equip pastors, to help pastors, to know that they can do it. Hey, we went to Puerto Rico. We ate some alcapurria, some mofongo. We had a blast, but we launched a life-giving church. And you could do it in your context, in your community. Do not give up. So we want to be a part of doing and showing it's possible. We want to love on our young people so that they can make an impact, that they can grow, and that they can change their community. That the life-giving model is more than being inside of a building, but that the life-giving model can reach every aspect of the community. That it's reaching homes, that homes become life-giving, that schools become life-giving, that it's because of what God is doing through churches that are life-giving, that communities are being impacted. And we believe that God is going to do that through every pastor. If you're going to plant a church, first of all, be sure that you don't have any other option, because this is going to test your faith. You're going to see people's social media, and you're like, my gosh, they are perfect. But what you're not going to see is the moment where they're on the floor crying before God because that day is hard. There's going to be moments where you want to give up. And if it's not for the calling that you can hold on to, you will. So be sure that you have that calling, that you are there for your wife, for your children, that you will never give up because you're called to make an impact.